Okay, this is Real Bout Fatal Fury Special, which is a bit of a mouthful. This is well, it's one of two games that I've recently ordered for my Sega Saturn, so these are two import games, and I'll not mention the second one yet, but the first one is this one, and I was really after a decent Fatal Fury game. I'll pick Andy. I'm familiar with Andy. Yeah, I was really after a good Fatal Fury game that wasn't a King of Fighters game. And I had a look, and this seems to be the last one that came out on the Saturn, so I think this is part 5. So there was Fatal Fury 3, then Real Bout Fatal Fury, and then Real Bout Fatal Fury Special. Oh, it's as complex as Super Street Fighter 2 and all the versions of that edition. Anyway, so here we go. I've never played this before. I've played... Hang on, why aren't these specials working? Oh right, okay, that's how it works. It's the C button. I've played initially Fatal Fury 1 on the Mega Drive. I don't think I ever played the arcade version, but I've played King of Fighters 98 quite a lot on Dreamcast. This was one of the first Dreamcast games that I owned. And I tended to stick with Andy. Bogard, I think. Yeah, the special moves are quite weird, because I'm trying to do them using punch, and some of them work, some of them don't, and some of them you've got this special C button, which is like power move, something like that. Waffle. Okay, I'm not doing too bad. Yeah. This is the only one that I've played really in the Fatal Fury series apart from the Mega Drive one, and I'm just trying to look at the controls now. You've got this multiple layer thing which seems... Ooh, I didn't mean to press that. Come on. Come on, take that. Yeah, the multiple layer thing's something that you don't really get in Street Fighter. Well, I'm sure if you're an SNK fan, I'm teaching you to suck eggs. Not too bad. Ooh. Painful. Well, that still works. You've got to do like a half circle going right to left. Not too bad. Ooh, very nice backgrounds. I think this is in China. Okay. Ah! Yeah, the mechanics of this are a little bit different to King of Fighters. Oh! What was that? He belched out some... well, something bad. Go on, take that. But yeah, graphically it doesn't look as good as King of Fighters 98 on the Dreamcast, but for a Saturn game it seems to be a fairly good example. I'm trying to remember when this came out. I think this was probably about 95, 96, and this game's using the 1 megabyte RAM cartridge, and the way I'm playing it on this machine, this is a PAL Saturn, so I'm playing it using one of those action replay converters that I recently picked up. So I think it's using the 1 megabyte mode rather than the 4 megabyte mode. I suppose the other thing is this is being played at 50 Hz. I haven't modified the console yet. So that's something I've got to do perhaps in the future, but I suppose for an old codger like me, playing the game slightly slower might have its advantage. Come on, do your thingy move. There we go. Yeah, the timing's a little bit different. I think that's true with a lot of games, even the Street Fighter games. You've got to relearn all the timings. And really, I think that's why I like the Saturn games, the Saturn 2D beat-em-ups, because I've played quite a few on the PlayStation 2. Was really perhaps the most up-to-date console that has a lot of these compilations on, but it's hard to describe. I'm not sure if it's the frame rate or the way that it's done in like a, you know, using a 3D engine to do 2D, but the timing seems off. So I think the frame rate dips a little bit and it just doesn't feel right. But the Saturn games seem to be almost arcade perfect. I think, well, going to Retro Replay earlier in the year, I played on one of those Neo Geo CD machines. I've not really played on Neo Geo very much before, and I've never used one of the CD machines. I didn't know what to expect. I was really quite impressed with the conversions, but I suppose the problem with that machine is, whilst you do get these arcade perfect conversions, it's got a single speed drive, and I just can't imagine sitting there waiting for the game to load. And I thought, well, with the Saturn versions of the game, the timing's okay, at least it was with the Street Fighter games, so I thought I'll take a risk on the SNK games. But the loading seems a lot better, at least on the Saturn version. You're waiting like 15 seconds rather than... I think I've got it in the footage somewhere, some of the unedited footage, just how long it takes for the Neo Geo CD to load. It's ridiculous. But I don't want to spoil it, but there are a few games that I'd like to play on the Saturn. Some of them are Neo Geo games and some of them are the Capcom games. And the ones that I always wanted to play, and I suppose the ultimate one that I wanted to play back in the day after reading Sega Saturn magazine was Marvel vs. Capcom and Street Fighter Alpha, or Street Fighter 03 as it is in Japan. And I picked up Marvel vs. Capcom on the Dreamcast, so it was Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And I really enjoyed that, and I'd quite like to play the first one on the Saturn. So I know with the sequel, it's a 2D game, but it was rendered in 3D, because all the backgrounds are 3D with these, I lost, 2D characters. But the first one was a completely 2D game, so I'd really like to play that at some point. But I've got another... Well, there's another Saturn game that I've got with me now, and there's another one that I recently won quite cheap, so I'll be playing that when it arrives. Go on! Yeah, I'm really enjoying these backgrounds. And they've even got animation on them, and I suspect this is down to the cartridge. But I think for the reputation that this game has, or this series of games, so these and the King of Fighters ones... I lost. That's me waffling. The animation's not bad, but not quite up there with, I suppose, some of the later SNK games. I think the last one I played was... I've only ever played 2 King of Fighters games. As I mentioned, King of Fighters 98, which was, I think they called it 99 Dream Match on the Dreamcast, but the other one was King of Fighters 2002 on the original Xbox, and I wasn't that impressed with it. On the 360 I played it recently, and it glitches quite badly. You can see all the individual tiles and you get these lines in the character, which I suppose is the effect of the emulation, but it didn't quite feel right. Animation wise it was really nice, and it's better than this, I have to say, but I don't know, something just didn't feel right in the gameplay. I know that's horribly inarticulate of me, but timing's just such a hard thing to explain. Once you've invested a significant amount of time in these 2D beat-em-ups, any changes or anything that they change in the formula is either for good or for the worst, and I think in that case SNK, I'm trying to remember the version, I think it was King of Fighters 2000 was the last one by SNK before it became SNK Playmore, and I know that the last 2 or 3 games they made before they took the hiatus with the series were considered not as good. Oh crap, I've got my arse handed to me. Again. Yeah, I know that. Okay, I'll try and play a little bit better. I've got to relearn it all and it's just wrong. And it probably doesn't help that I'm playing against myself effectively. Against Andy. Oh, he didn't do anything then. Come on. Oh, why is he... It's not fair, he's kicking my arse. I remember that move. They must have increased the characters' number of special moves on King of Fighters, because a lot of the ones that I'm trying just aren't working. Or at least maybe they made them slightly easier to pull off. Come on. Go on. Yeah. I've got this power thing, but it doesn't seem... Uh-oh. One hit and I'm knackered. Ah! I think he hit me in the knackers then. It's quite rude of him. Oh, it's dark now. He's been kicking my ass all day. Right, come on. I've got to win this one. Ah! Oh, right, okay, that's the C button. Yeah, just as unrehearsed as usual. Go on. Ooh. Bastard. Go on. I'm just trying to look at this now. Is it blood that's coming off some of the characters? Because you've got these yellow... Oh. Oh, this isn't fair. Right, I think I'll leave it there. I think I need a bit more practice on this. Yeah, I've quite enjoyed it. I think it's nice having played games like Street Fighter for so many years and being able to just play it off, I suppose, instinct and reflex to go into another game and just having to learn it all again. Which, well, I suppose after playing for so many years, you really want something different, and yeah. I really should learn to play as more kinds of characters. I tend to just stick to the Ryu and Ken style characters with similar moves. But there's a whole bunch of characters on S&K games that I really should learn. I tend to stick to Andy, Terry and, what's his name, Joe. It doesn't tell you on this one. Yeah, right, I think I'll leave it there. There's another game that I'll play next, which I've absolutely no experience at all, but it has a very good reputation. So I'll see you in that one. Thank you very much for watching.